culture problems. And what better way to mark the beginning of the world's longest Christmas season than to release a vinyl figure of the country's OPM icon Jose Mari Chan. We'll speak with Funko Fanatic Philippines founder Nico Lim and JMC's daughter Liza Chan Parpan. A check on the weather first. Super Typhoon Henry slightly weakens as it moves slowly over the Philippine Sea. Henry was last located east-northeast of Itbayat, Batanes with winds of 185 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 230 kilometers per hour. Pag-asa says the super typhoon may become almost stationary by tonight. Henry is expected to accelerate northward by Saturday and exit the country's weather monitoring area Saturday evening or Sunday morning. Storm signal number 1 up in Batanes and the northeastern portion of Babuyan Islands. These areas should expect strong winds within the next 36 hours. Tonight, Batanes will also have moderate to heavy rains. Babuyan Islands will see light to moderate with at times heavy rains. Henry is also expected to enhance the southwest monsoon, bringing rains over the western section of Luzon beginning tomorrow. Earlier this morning, Tropical Depression Gardo weakened into a low-pressure area and merged into Super Typhoon Henry's circulation. So how is Super Typhoon Henry affecting the coastal areas in northern Luzon? Stanley Gaheta checks on towns in Cagayan.
The weather situation here was seen to be normal earlier today, but large ocean waves are suddenly appearing, stopping residents and fisher folk from conducting activities with Super Typhoon Henry now within the weather monitoring area. Their livelihood now in peril, as the cloudy weather prevents drying of shrimps and fish, which are Aparis major commodities.
Mahirap, sir. Kasi pag may bagyo po, hindi na sila nakakalaot, sir. Pag wala nang mahuli dyan, sir, pag may bagyo. Yung mga iba, sir, uutang ng pagkain, tapos babayaran pag may hanap buhay.
Hindi na kami nakapapalaot kasi pinagbawalan na kami.
So anong pinagkakabuhayan mo ngayon pag wala kang hindi ka nangingisda?
Wala na sir, construction na sir.
Cagayan province is under red alert along with Batanes based on the Regional Disaster Risk Reduction Council's warning. 16 barangays in Apari are in coastal areas with more than 500 families affected whenever a typhoon batters northern Luzon, causing floods in the town proper. Local officials are coordinating with various government agencies. Their Rescue 511 is on standby. Equipment and relief packs are pre-positioned.
Yung fisher folks bar po natin, alam naman po naman nila sa kung delikado ng dagat, hindi naman po sila mapalaw. Pag ganito na sir, binibisita po namin sila mismo sa Costa Morales po.
Meanwhile, Calayan, Cagayan suspended classes in the morning and government offices in the afternoon due to southwest monsoon causing moderate to rough sea waves.
Bigla-bigla kasi yung attitude ng weather. So ayaw pa naman na matrap yung mga bata at yung mga teachers, pati yung mga government employees. So far, may nag-alternate, kunting araw, makulimlim, may kunting ulan. Pero yung hangin niya medyo may kalakatan. Huwag tayo kumpiyansa dahil yung bagyo malawak po yung radius niya. Kahit malayo po yun, hanggang 300 kilometers ay kayang apektuhan.
Despite the threat of Super Typhoon Henry, no major flight has been cancelled so far, particularly those bound for Basco, Batanes and Lawag City, according to Manila International Airport Authority. Meanwhile, officials are closely monitoring the situation here. In Apari, Cagayan, Stanley Gaete, CNN Philippines.
Thousands of households facing rotational water interruptions for a month. Beginning today until October 1st, Maynilad will cut water supply in parts of Metro Manila and nearby provinces. Maynilad explains this is, quote, to ensure that our reservoirs have enough stored water to supply customer needs during hours of peak demand, unquote. On your screens now is the list of affected cities and towns. Portions of these areas will have no water supply for at least 3 hours a day, others up to 16 hours. Maynilad urges concerned customers to store enough water when supply is available. The concessionaire also says it will have water tankers on standby to deliver water to affected areas as needed. More agriculture officials in hot water as the Blue Ribbon Committee looks into an allegedly illegal importation order. Various issues crop up at another Senate probe. As Amor Santos tells us, a senator is challenging 3 officials to resign if they fail to deliver this year.
Hindi mag-resign ka kung hindi mo gusto implemento. Kulong mo. Hindi mo palta na yan.
Senator Cynthia Villar berates the head of the Philippine Coconut Authority, retired General Benjamin Madrigal, over the Coco Levy Fund. The Budget Department confirms it has released only 755 million pesos, more than a year since the enabling law was passed. DBM Undersecretary Tina Canda says the agency has yet to receive any more funding requests when at least 5 billion pesos can be released every year. Madrigal explains it's up to the implementing agencies to make the request.
Eh di tawagan mo ng tawagan kung ayaw nila mag-request, ikaw ang mag-follow up. Bakit ka mag-wash ng hand dyan? Eh ikaw ang hindi nagsisige. Kung hindi mo kayang gawin yan, di mag-resign ka.
I will, Madam Chair.
Villar is also calling for the resignation of the director in charge of providing machinery and equipment to farmers using the 5 billion peso allocation under the rice tariffication law. Villar wants PhilMec to dissolve an advisory council, saying it has been slowing things down.
We can obligate all the 5 billion that is allotted 2022.
I-suspend mo tong committee na to, ha? Otherwise, i-demand ko kayo. That is against the law.
Senators also grilled the Bureau of Soils for delays in the procurement of composting facilities, despite getting over 1 billion pesos this year for the project.
Nicosing, hindi pa nabibili para sa composting facilities?
The procurement process is ongoing. We are completing all the necessary documents.
On top of these issues, the Senate is still investigating the botched order to import 300,000 metric tons of sugar. Senators have questions for Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez, who has distanced the palace from the sugar order. But Blue Ribbon Chairman Francis Tolentino says Rodriguez may again have to skip the hearing next week, and he sees no problem with it.
Alam naman natin lahat na marami siyang gawain ngayon dahil ang presidente ay papunta sa Indonesia, pakatapos po ay papunta sa Singapore, pakatapos po ay papunta sa United Nations, at kung tutuusin, siya lahat yung gumagawa nito. At baka pag hindi siya kasama sa United Nations, eh baka maging caretaker pa siya sa Office of the President, sa Malacanang. So marami siyang gawain. So we consider that, but the invitation of the Senate still remains.
Tolentino says he can come up with a partial report even without answers from Rodriguez. Amor Santos, CNN Philippines.
The Interior Department wants to make Cebu City a pilot site for making face masks optional outdoors despite the threat of COVID-19. Interior Secretary Benher Abalos, however, asked Cebu City Mayor Mike Rama to defer the implementation of his executive order that eases the mandate on wearing face masks. Rama was quoted in a radio interview as saying that he will implement the EO. Abalos says he will discuss the matter first with the Interagency Task Force on COVID-19. He adds local governments cannot have conflicting policies on pandemic response, especially since the national state of public health emergency is still in effect.
Hindi tayo pwede magkanya-kanya rito, no? I know he has good intentions, very good intentions at that. Pero I'm sure kung ipipresent ko na mas IAT effect to, baka payagan namang ipilot ang Cebu. Let's say magpilot ka ng ilang linggo at hindi tumaas, di yun na yun. It's a good template for everyone. Lahat makikinabang dito. But what is important right now ay sundin natin itong tamang proseso.
Following Cebu City's executive order, neighboring Mandaue City also plans to ease face mask rules, especially in open spaces. Last June, Cebu province lifted the face mask mandate in well-ventilated and open spaces. The Education Department has received no reports of students or staff catching COVID-19 since classes in public schools began 2 weeks ago. Spokesman Michael Poa says the school opening went smoothly, but noted the need to solve perennial problems like the lack of facilities. DepEd is expected to issue updated health protocols as schools transition to full capacity in-person classes by November. The Education Department is urging victims of alleged sexual harassment at the Bacoor National High School in Cavite to file complaint affidavits. Viral screenshots show teachers messaging students supposedly with sexual motives. 7 teachers are under investigation, but the DepEd says almost no complainants have come forward.
Sana po tulungan niyo rin kami hikayatin yung mga alleged victims na lumabas po at mag-file ng kanilang affidavits para po mapalakas lalo yung kaso kung meron man.
The school's division office will submit a fact-finding report to DepEd tomorrow. Teachers may be dismissed if proven guilty. They could also face criminal cases. More stories ahead. Daily commute in Metro Manila should be easier as the Transportation Department launches an automated fare collection system. And President Bongbong Marcos vows to address the salary gap between government and private nurses. Keep it here on Newsnight.
Sa panahon ngayon, kau ba'y sigurado? Kau ba'y protektado? Ang pamilya ay i-shield mo.
Laban sa bakterya,
I-shield mo.
laban ng pati virus,
I-shield mo.
Shield That Soap. Patay ang 99.9% of bacteria and virus tested. Bilib ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association.
sa sakit protektado,
I-shield mo.
pamilya protektado,
I-shield mo.
Shield Bath Soap. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS. Ang buhay ay masaya pag ang hugasin ay easy, lalo na sa masebong kaldero at kawali.
Kaya mag-Smart Dishwashing Paste. Pang heavy-duty hugasin.
Ang galing, galing, galing.
Smart!
Yan ang Smart Dishwashing.
May double tanggaling formula, tanggal galingan sebo at bakterya. Kaya ang Smart #1 dishwashing paste.
Ang galing, galing, galing.
Smart!
Yan ang Smart Dishwashing.
Smart Dishwashing Paste. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS.
Ito ang RPN, Radio Philippines Network, DXKT 1071 sa inyong mga radyo, ang Radyo Ronda sa Davao.
Pension policy or NCAP is putting them in what it calls is a handicap situation. MMDA Special Operations Chief Bong Nebriha says physical apprehension can be time-consuming and may lead to traffic buildup. Even if they are short-staffed, Nebriha says they will give their best efforts to ensure that traffic rules are always implemented.
Sa EDSA, sometimes swerte na kung may 100 ako per shift. 23.8 kilometers. Northbound, southbound. You need to be innovative how to deploy your enforcers with that number.
Nebriha also urges motorists to report traffic enforcers who attempt to extort money from them. The MMDA is now utilizing CCTV cameras to avoid cases of bribery, popularly referred to as kotong. It is full speed ahead for public transport drivers and commuters as regulators roll out a cashless payment option. An automated fare collection system was launched for modern jeepneys, buses, trains, and even tricycles. The pilot will run for 9 to 12 months among 150 modern jeepneys in 6 areas, including Metro Manila, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, and Metro Cebu. Select land bank prepaid and credit cards will be accepted in the first month.
Inaasahan po natin na pagkatapos po ng pilot na yan, ay uumpisahan na po natin yung mas malawakang deployment nitong pong ating EMV contactless system.
Land Bank, a partner of the Transportation Department, says there is enough supply of stored value cards or SVCs Authorities previously warned commuters of a looming shortage in beep cards because of global chip supply problems. Land Bank says it has issued 20 million chip cards used for both SBCs and bank cards. For its part, the DOTR is exploring ways to meet the increasing demand for SBCs as face-to-face classes resume. On to another story. President Marcos has vowed to bridge the gap between the salaries of government and private nurses. The president led the centennial anniversary of the Philippine Nurses Association, where he recognized the hard work and sacrifice of health workers. He's also pushing for the passage of the Philippine Nursing Practice Act.
As your president, you may rest assured that my office is always open for meaningful dialogue to address the issues concerning our nurses and allied healthcare professionals.
The government has so far released 25 billion pesos worth of benefits to healthcare workers, but the president admits this is not enough. The Office of the Vice President defends the significant increase in its proposed budget for 2023, which includes a 500 million peso confidential fund. OVP spokesperson Reynold Munsayak says the amount will be allocated mostly for livelihood projects in rural areas. He adds the fund will be used within the parameters set by the Budget Department and the Commission on Audit. Munsayak also points out the OVP has established 7 satellite offices to reach more Filipinos. The OVP has proposed a 2.2 billion peso budget for next year, up by over 200% from this year's 702 million.
Siguro ho, nung nakarang administrasyon, meron silang certain projects at yung budget nila is sufficient na para doon. Kagaya ho nung sinabi namin, ngayon ho, ang gusto namin mas maabot namin yung marami nating kababayang Pilipino.
In other news, no more investment deal between media companies ABS-CBN and TV5. ABS-CBN will no longer buy a third of TV5 shares worth more than 2 billion pesos. The two networks also ended their convertible note agreement, which would raise ABS-CBN's stake in TV5 to nearly half 8 years from issuance, and Manny Pangilinan Signal Cable will discontinue its plan to acquire 39% of Sky Cable. The networks first announced the deal on August 11th, but they hit the pause button last week to address issues raised by lawmakers and the National Telecommunications Commission. These issues include the network's block time agreement and the alleged foreign ownership of TV5. Filipino workers in China are seeking assistance from the Philippine government as the East Asian country puts several cities under strict COVID-19 lockdowns. Tristan Odalo, who is in Beijing for a 3-month study grant, gives us a look.
A handful of confirmed COVID-19 cases can trigger more lockdowns in several areas in China as the country continues to implement its zero COVID-19 policy. In Sanya City, south of China, some are still under strict lockdown for almost a month now. Filipino workers James and Jennifer Montaño share their ordeal inside their dormitory.
Yung swab namin dito sa door-to-door po, pinakatok po kami. So 2 days ago lang na naging sa first floor na po ang swab namin. Pero yung mga nakaraan, dito sa pinakatok po kami sa, dito room by room po ang swab test.
Hindi po talaga kami nakakalabas.
Bawal pong lumabas. Wala kang makikita sa daan ng mga sasakyan, hindi mo sa mga medical lang na sasakyan ngayon, ambulansya or yun lang po. Lockdown po talaga.
Working as entertainers in the famous tourist spot remains to be a challenge due to prevailing restrictions.
Pag walang trabaho kami, walang sahod. So before itong lockdown na to, 3 months din kami na lockdown, tapos nakapagtrabaho kami ng 1 month, tapos ito na naman.
Apart from Sanya, tech hub city Shenzhen, home to the world's largest electronic markets, is also under lockdown due to rising COVID-19 infections. According to the OFWs, the Chinese government provides assistance, including food and access to COVID-19 testing, to all those affected by lockdowns. These OFWs are hoping that the Philippine government will also be able to extend help.
Kailangan po talaga ng financial assistance. Sabi nga po ng ibang Pilipino kung hindi sila mabibigyan dito kahit yung pamilya na lang nila sa Pilipinas. Umaasa po talaga. Talagang kailangan po.
The Department of Foreign Affairs assures Filipinos in China that the government is ready to assist them. The DFA says so far most Filipinos in Shenzhen are not residing in the sub-districts placed under lockdown. The Chinese National Health Commission has detected 307 fresh cases of COVID-19 in the Chinese mainland on Thursday. Travel in and out of the capital Beijing has been discouraged and residents are urged to undergo COVID-19 testing on a daily basis. China maintains that despite potential economic impact, its zero COVID-19 policy can still save millions of lives. Now, whether or not this policy will stay in the long term, it will be up to an important leaders meeting in October. In Beijing, China, Tristan Udalo, CNN Philippines.
Up next on Newsnight, the start of the Burr months is finally here. Watch how netizens are celebrating the unofficial start of the Yuletide season. Plus, the country's favorite caroler, Jose Marichan, has been immortalized with his very own Funko Pop. Founder of Funko Fanatic Philippines, Nico Lim, and JMC's daughter, Lisa Chan Parpan, will join us next. You're watching CNN Philippines.
Ito ang RBN, Radio Philippines Network, DXKT 1071 sa inyong mga radyo, ang Radyo Ronda sa Davao.
Para sa sinina nga ka-bloom sa kahumot, suwayi ang Charm Fabric Conditioner.
Charm Fat Con, bangong kumaga-bloom. Charm Fat Con, damit ay may bangon ng salibong bulaklak.
Charm Fabric Conditioner, dunay stay fresh technology. Sinina nga ka-bloom sa kahumot.
Charm Fat Con, bangong kumaga-bloom. Charm Fat Con, damit ay may bangon ng salibong bulaklak.
Charm Fabric Conditioner, manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified, world-class quality.
ACS. Para di madaling masira ang ngipin ng pamilya, ngayon pa lang.
Unique toothpaste for brushing every after kumain.
Dahil ang unique toothpaste, may Max Protect formula.
Ngipin ay Max Alaga, Max Protect.
Ito ang RBN, Radio Philippines Network, DXKT 1071 sa inyong mga radyo, ang Radyo Ronda sa Davao.
Welcome back. Tennis icon Serena Williams wins her second round singles match in what could be the final tournament in her storied career. Serena upset world number 2 Anett Kontaveit to advance to the third round of the US Open. Williams will face Australia's Ayla Tomljanovic next month. Last month, the sports legend said she will evolve away from tennis after the US Open. Here at home, the PBA Philippine Cup crown is within reach for the TNT Tropang Giga. Now with a 3-2 finals lead, the defending champion beats the San Miguel Beermen yesterday 102-93 at the Araneta Coliseum in Quezon City. TNT could win it all tomorrow in Game 6, also at the Big Dome. And pole vault sensation EJ Obiena rules another meet in Germany, clearing 5.86 meters at the St. Wendell's City Jump. The best pole vaulter in Asia has already won a pair of gold medals and a bronze in the second part of the season in Europe. It is the 1st of September, and that means Christmas is in the air here in the Philippines.
Whenever I see girls.
Social media as they welcome the beginning of the so-called Burr months with viral memes and Christmas albums. On top of that list is none other than Mr. Christmas singer Jose Marichan. One meme shows him tuning his guitar. Another meme shows him asleep, waiting for his yearly comeback during Yuletide. Another iconic holiday singer is Mariah Carey, whose song is a staple at every Christmas party. This meme shows the two ready to meet the Burr months again. With September 1 signaling the start of the longest Christmas season in the world, one name emerges as the most fitting among Filipinos to be Funko. Who else but a pop culture icon whose music and charisma cross generations, Jose Marichan. He joins us later on News.ph, but first here are two people who were instrumental in producing this very cute Funko Pop. Founder of Funko Fanatic PH, tama ba? Nico Lim, and GMC's daughter, Liza Chan Parpan. Hi, Nico. Welcome to the show. And Liza, welcome back. You're always here. Pero pag Christmas. Pero kumbaga, Christmas na rin, ano?
Here in the Philippines.
Yeah. Okay. Nico, let's begin with you. So, GMC, pop culture icon, only the third Filipino to be Funko, right?
Yes. So previously we have Manny Pacquiao, and then of course we also have Jokoy.
Pero considered Phil-Am, no?
Yes, yes. So
and his Funko was released in the
only
US.
in the US, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So now we have Jose Marichan.
And he is the first Filipino entertainer, Filipino musician, Filipino singer.
Yes, yes, he is. Yeah.
Okay. But you do have other Filipino-themed Funkos also, right?
Yes, before. So we had, of course, Jollibee, and then we also had the college mascots, the Blue Eagle and Green Archers, and then Trece from the Trece Comics. Yes.
Okay. All right. And of course, this release of the GMC Funko is because of, and you chose the date, no? September 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
The start of Burman's Christmas, actually, here in the Philippines.
Yeah. And this is a long time coming, di ba? Dapat last year, September 2021.
Yes.
Ano nangyari?
We planned this for last year, September, but due to manufacturing and logistics issues, it was delayed. So they said item would come, I think, November, December na. So I told them, let's just push it to next year.
Right, right. Oh, so dapat talaga September. But at the same time, in a way, maganda na rin na hindi last September kasi that was the Delta surge, the height of the Delta surge, no?
Yeah, so I guess it was a blessing in disguise. It's a perfect timing now to launch the pop. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's describe him as a Funko. Sige nga.
You, Lisa?
Well, okay, so when we asked my dad for his input, you know, what he would like, how he would like to be represented in the Funko, I asked him, I said, how do you normally appear on stage? You know, you're normally in a suit and in a tie whenever you perform.
Okay.
So he chose the color of the suit. It's not exactly a black suit. It's like a very, very dark blue, no? And then there's like a yellowish gold tie.
Yeah.
There's a distinguishing mark, which we as his family are very familiar with. It's the mole,
right?
on his forehead.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people...
There, right
are
there.
aware.
Yeah, no? Yeah.
Some of his fans, though, I don't know, they might be surprised. I was watching an unboxing this morning, and the person that was unboxing it was surprised. He never noticed that my dad had a mole.
Okay. But because of the makeup, no, natakpan. But also, yung tindig niya, no, it's so him. He stands like that with his feet apart, and then he has his hands out like that.
And the microphone.
The microphone in his right hand. And the handkerchief, or what do you call it?
Yes, the pocket square.
The pocket square. Okay. Lisa, Nico approached you about this, no, and you're used to a famous father. I mean, you grew up with a famous father. But what were your thoughts of having him immortalized as a Funko Pop doll?
Well, I don't collect toys myself or things in general, no?
Yeah.
So I wasn't familiar really with Funko, but I've known Nico, and I know that Nico has good ideas naman. We've been in business before. And when he approached me with the idea, and I broached it to my dad, we were both sort of like, okay, let's study this a bit. And then Nico showed me examples of other pop icons in the West, like Elvis Presley,
Michael Jackson, and then we also have the Beatles. So
they range. I mean, from like sports figures to entertainment.
Yes.
Personalities.
Yeah.
I showed it to my dad, and then he says, "Are there other Filipinos?" Yes, there's Manny Pacquiao. I've seen Manny Pacquiao when I go around Green Hills. I've seen Manny Pacquiao.
Okay. And he didn't, he had any misgivings or parang, what, me as a doll? Or,
I think because it's just a toy. He was like, is this a toy, like for kids? I said, no, it's for serious collectors. Now, my brother Joe, you've seen him
And he's always on the show when we have Christmas specials.
Yes. So Joe, is a big Star Wars fan. He goes to toy conventions, comic
Cosplays,
conventions.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I told Joe, I said, "You've heard of Funko, right?" He says, "Yes." So then Joe helped also tell me that no, it's legit. It's don't worry.
So what was he afraid of in one word? Being what? And you
I don't know if it's trivialized would be the wrong word, but I guess sort of like, this is not, he wasn't sure, like, is this sort of poking fun at me? He wasn't sure, right?
Okay. Because of all the memes then that were coming
Because
out,
of the
lalo
memes.
na in the last few years.
And I think we discussed this in a previous episode with you, right?
Right.
The memes, when the memes first came out, he was like, he didn't know how to react. So there was one, and there was a very early meme, the one that said, kontrolado ko lahat ng speakers sa mall. When people started showing him that, I think he hadn't even really gotten used to Viber yet, right? When it was spreading through Viber. I showed it to him and he says, "Lisa, you have to tell people I'm not behind this, huh? I don't know what to do with this." I said, no, it's a meme. What's a meme? He doesn't understand.
Okay.
So same thing with this. It took a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But finally we showed him enough, evidence to, to show that this would be a good idea. It's going to respect your image, don't worry.
Parang business proposal.
Yes. And so,
Dumaan sa butas ng karayom. These are available where, Nico, and how much? And can you tell us how many pieces in total so that people will freak out na, oh no, there's only how many left?
Yeah, so these are available through Hobbystock Collectibles branches. It's also available online, Shopee, Lazada, and at Hobbystock.
Okay, of course there are cute questions. Somebody asked me, does it sing? Siyempre hindi. Wala pang ganoon.
Yes, wala pa.
Okay.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. And shouldn't the eyes have been a little bit smaller, yung mga ganon? But you can't do that, right? Because that's the...
That's the look of Funko.
That's the look of Funko.
It's a set,
certain look, with Funko.
And by the way, yung likod pala niya, yung likod ng box is the album cover.
Is the album cover. So he also was like, can we use that? I said, that's why
yours.
you're known, right? So I think it's fine. He did talk about it with Universal, so.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today, Nico Lim and Liza Chan Parpan. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
For having us.
And that is it for tonight. Join me again on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Pia Hontiveros for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
Ito ang RP